Yo, what it do, what it is, what it ain't. It's your boy T. It's the Get Right Podcast, man. We are back at it once again, man. You know, I got the brain trust hosted with the mostest, man. Keep it short and sweet. Rob,
What what up though?
that's it. Mr. Misconception, man.
It's
What's
your
up?
boy DC in the place to be. The man with his beer in his hand. I done forgot my other nicknames, but you know what it is.
It's funny, bro. In the place to be. Shout out to the 80s.
That's right.
Hey man,
So,
I
go
thought
ahead, Rob.
I thought about you the other day. I know you be on all hip hop, but they had a clip of Melly Mel, and Melly Mel swole as hell, by the way. And he was talking, and I just instantly thought about you. And he did his signature. I'm not gonna do it, but that whatever. Yeah. At the end of it, I was like, "Duh." All I could think is DC. It was like, "Duh, the '80s, bro." Like,
80s is trash, dog.
I'm like, why is he still doing that?
Right. Yeah. He is big though, man. I mean, like,
yeah, say it to his face, bro.
yeah, bro.
Keep
Anybody
that
can get
same energy.
nah, I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah, it's all good though. You know, shout out to 80s.
Cheat on his wife.
All day. Man, so man, definitely a great weekend, man. I was able to go head to the beach, man. We was at North Myrtle Beach, man, and literally, man, when I say we was right on the water, we was right on the water. When I talk about we, myself, my wife, the brain trust, his wife, and pretty much our kids are damn near twins, man. Birthdays are 2 days apart.
Yeah, DC got no invite. It's all good though.
Oh, that's Cap.
But you did though.
Cap.
I personally gave you the invite, so I know that's wrong.
Cap.
Y'all
You had
invited me.
invites.
Y'all invited me
invites,
like
man. Here's the thing.
Y'all invited me like the day before. Like, oh yeah, pull up tomorrow. I'm like, what?
But you
I'm
do
just
stuff
playing.
like that though.
Yeah.
You do stuff like that
You know
though.
what I'm saying? No, it's all
You know
good
what I'm
though. It's
saying?
all
You
good.
you can pick up and leave. That's what y'all just that's what you
Hey,
do.
I got obligations, man. I got obligations.
You got as black people in the black community, obligations are hair appointments. You can't miss those.
I got you. I got you, T.
Am I lying? Am I lying? Anybody who listening and y'all know what this is, bro. You can't. Black people do not push back hair appointments, bro.
That's a fact. I ain't gonna
Come
lie.
on now.
Your boy had to get that retwist, and I was not about to reschedule it.
There
That
it
is not a
is.
lie.
Come on, man.
And the wifey had a hair appointment, man.
Oh, so that's double
Yeah.
trouble on us, bro. Like we gonna push you. We can't come back next week. It don't work like that.
No, it don't work like that.
It don't work like that.
Rob, I gotta book my junk 2 months in advance. I ain't even lying.
And see, there you have
Mhm.
it. So, you know what I'm saying? But definitely you was there in spirit, bro.
Yeah, it's all good. I make the
Giving
next
me grief with the NBA, but I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole with the NBA, man.
I
We
probably
gonna see
will. It's all good.
how that play out, man. But it was definitely a dope weekend, man. Seeing the kids, smile, bringing the birthdays, eat a bunch of junk food, relax on the beach, just soak that in, man. But another interesting thing, man, where I know this is going to lead into some other conversations. We saw a comedian, B Simone. If you don't know who B Simone is, man, y'all gotta watch Wildin' Out because she is out here doing her thing and creating her own lane. A lot of folks from the Wildin' Out crew, so shout out to them. But damn, she had a interesting take on MLK, with Martin Luther King Jr. And Rod, I know you want to shed a little light on that, man. But I really want to touch this topic, and I want to really hear you guys' thoughts and mindset on that, man. But Rod, man, I'm gonna let you go ahead.
For sure. Yeah. Shout out to my girl Tina who shot this over to me. Because, we have some real quality conversations and healthy debates from time to time. And she didn't put any caption to it. She just put topic ? Right? And because she's an avid listener of the pod too. So shout out to her for throwing in.
Shout out Radiant Row, CEO of Radiant Row doing her thing too. So I'm gonna keep plugging that too.
100%. So I'm actually play the clip and we'll talk about it, man.
Or fight about it. Either
The
way.
fact that Martin Luther King is the man that fought for freedom, or the fact that he was cheating on his wife.
Jesus. I'm going to give you this example. He's a great father. He's a great businessman. He's a great CEO. He's an entrepreneur. He's such a boss. He's a boss. Look at that man. He's a boss. He's a great father. Look at him, that strong black man. Look at him being at his kid's game. But you're cheating on your wife. You're not a good husband. But he's great in all these other aspects. How are you a great leader, a great CEO, a great black man? You're not great. You're not great. God, you're not. That is triggering. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm a good dad. You're not a good dad because you don't respect me. How the fuck you showing these kids you a good father and you don't respect their mother? You're not a great dad, my nigga. You're an okay human. Someone being a good person to you means they're a good person to you. Someone being a good person to everyone means that they're a good person. What's more important?
So with the clip though, obviously, I think that was more clickbait because I'm sure the topics was part of a larger topic, and
For sure.
her response didn't sound like it was directly towards MLK. However, it still incorporated some of those characteristics of who he is. So, I mean, that's a dope question, to be honest with you.
That's a hot take. I love it.
It is. So, I mean, not to be specific to MLK, but anyone that you consider great and that has done great things, right? We all have flaws. We all have different things that may trip us up in life, and we're gonna have falls.
We've all
But that
fell down, man. But
does that make you less great at being something because you've had a slip up? And we'll pose that question to you. Like, is that something that people can look at and say you're no longer great? And we'll keep it with the infidelity part of it. If I'm dope at every single thing that I can think of, and yeah, I slip up, have some infidelity issues, and you know, um, whether past or present, I guess it doesn't really matter. And I'm overcoming those issues. Does that make me less of a of great at what I do? Right? Her response said, "You can't be a great leader. You can't be a great boss. You can't be a great father if you have tarnished that relationship." And I have some thoughts on it, but we'll let y'all chime in first.
so I'll go first. So yeah, you can be a great leader. You can be a great boss. Um, whatever noun you wanna use, adjective.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be whatever you want to be, right? It's how you overcome it. That's the key word. That is the key word, right? How we overcome it and how we rebound from adversity, right? Because we don't know the backstory, right? Okay, MLK, we know he stepped out, right? So what happened after that? How did he and Coretta reconcile that? Now, for me, is same thing. How do you bounce from that? How do you reconcile that? Because yeah, it's hard work. It's gonna take hard work to do those things. Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. So for him to put his life on the line, and he put his life on the line countless times. Um, it's a hell of a leader. We talked about chivalry a few episodes ago. True definition of that. Day in and day out. Um, yeah. Uh, his kid. Let's talk about MLK, the current one that's alive now, man. He's walking in his father's footsteps, being a leader, being an advocate for the black community. Um, was there some things that he learned about his dad, and you had to ask him? I don't think, I don't think, outside looking in, that he resents him because obviously he's still walking in his father's path and being a voice for the people. So when you fall down, to Rod's quote, right? As long as you get up more times than you fall down, you be successful. And if you can teach anybody that, whether it's your kids and people that watch you, you're a hell of a leader. You know what I mean? You're a hell of a man or woman. For those women listening, that you can show people like, yo, I messed up and I'm not perfect. And I think that's the case right there. We as black people, yep, and I'm calling out black people, sometimes I put this man on a pedestal that he can walk on water. He can't. You truly can't. And so as these things came out the past few years, people like, oh man, he can't be this, he can't be that. Well, why did we put him on a pedestal that high? So that's my answer and question. So DC, I'll let you have that, bro.
All right. So for those out there who may have their preconceptions about me or whatever thoughts or whatnot, this could be the time that it gets validated. Because I'm gonna tell you,
Talk your talk, bro.
this entire clip is some bullish. But no, it's not. My bad. This entire clip is some bullshit, is what it is. Clips like this honestly set women back. Like black women specifically is what I'm talking about. Like clips like this set black women back. Now, only black men. One, first off, before I go there, let's just talk about MLK. MLK is the only black person, man or woman, with a federally recognized holiday in his honor. Nobody else. Only him. Right? This man rode for Rosa Parks, black woman. He got his ass whooped in Selma and all over the South. He's been in every jail cell all over the South for people who don't even know him. You know what I'm saying? For black people, really for everybody, because he wasn't really just for black people. Really, MLK
Quality,
was
baby.
for everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a man who literally changed the nation. And yet, 50 years, 60 years after his death, you have black women who directly benefited from his sacrifice and his work saying this man was an okay human being because he cheated on his wife. Now, mind you, I don't advocate infidelity. I don't advocate cheating on your wife and this, that, and the third. But one, this man sacrificed his family for America, for Black America. You know what I'm saying? He sacrificed his family. He's on the road all the time. He got his family got death threats. He got death threats. He ultimately got killed. He sacrificed his own family for the greater good. And on the way to that sacrifice, guess what? He was a man. He slipped up. He did whatever he did. I'm not condoning it, but to say that this man is an okay human being, someone who literally got legislation passed, bruh, I'm not MLK. I do not measure up to MLK. I'm an extremely confident individual. I believe I bring a lot to the table. I'm not MLK. And so if you're a black woman and you are saying that MLK is a decent human being and that's it, well, what chance does every other black man in America have? You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, bro, only black men are expected to be perfect by their women. Bro, other races don't do this to their own men in America. I mean, probably across the world, but I live in America. This is all I see. You know what I'm saying? Other races don't do this to their own men. You don't have even what's the name? Bezos. Jeff Bezos got divorced by his wife and lost all this money. Bruh, I'm sure he did some kind of dirt. I don't know the details of that story, so forgive me, y'all. But I don't see his wife just throwing his name all in the mud and the dirt. You know what I'm saying? And all these great other men who don't look like us, who have done dirt to their wives, who's done worse, their wives do not come out, or just women in general come out and admonish them. But yet you have MLK, arguably the greatest, one of the greatest Black Americans of all time, is being called a decent human being. And oh, by the way, he's a pastor. And anybody, who knows about the church, about pastors, if you're a good pastor, you sacrifice your own family for the greater good. PKs, or the pastor kids, are usually the worst kids because their own parents neglect them.
I mean, that's facts, though.
But it's facts. Their own parents neglect them. And it's not because they don't care or anything. Like, it's just that they have so many people coming to them that there's only 24 hours in the day, and the pastor oftentimes gives it to the pulpit. He gives it to the congregation, or she gives it to the congregation, and the family sacrifices. And you take MLK, multiply it times 100.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, and even with that whole clip, you know, they say, oh, maybe it gets taken out of context. I don't even want to hear that, because somebody passed away not long ago, and women across the country were celebrating his death. You might have heard of him, Kevin Samuels.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some viral clips where, yeah, the clips look pretty crazy. And he got judged off of that. So we gonna judge these black women just like they judge us off this clip. And that clip was some BS. And I think that, honestly, that clip, to me, and I'm gonna get off this in a second, is indicative of a bigger problem within our community in terms of accountability. Because I don't know what I read through the comments there, and there was a lot of people co-signing. There's a lot of co-signing going on in those comments. There's a lot of back and forth, but it was a disturbing amount of co-signing in there. And when I talk about, you know, accountability, I do believe that I love my sisters, and I'm saying this out of love, ladies, but you all need to allow yourselves to be held accountable, because I think at this point in 2022, it is almost impossible to hold a black woman accountable for anything. You know what I'm saying? The fact that somebody could say something about MLK and they not get canceled, like, that's our black hero. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, now I'm gonna give you a couple of examples of black men getting held accountable. A couple years ago, Jay-Z got into a physical altercation.
I knew you was gonna go there.
Got into a physical altercation with Beyonce's sister. She slapped him in the elevator. And what was the reaction all across everywhere? Good for Solange. Slap that man. He cheated on Beyonce. Slap him. He got flamed for it. He did a whole album apologizing after getting slapped.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Now let the roles have been reversed. Y'all know how that would have went. More, but you know what? That's old news, right? Let's bring it more recent. Will Smith. Will Smith slapped another grown man on TV, and it's pretty much ruined his career. He got thrown out of the academy. He got dropped from a bunch of different endorsements and movies and this, that, and the third. Nobody want to touch him. It's going to bounce back. He's Will Smith. He'll bounce back.
He's taboo. He's taboo right now.
But right now, he's pretty much canceled, right? He's been held accountable for his actions. But when you flip it around, there's no accountability for, you know, when you see the other way around. I just gave two examples. You got a woman hitting a man, and she's lauded for it. She's celebrated for it. I mean, a woman hitting a black man specifically, right? And she's celebrated for it. Fast forward, you got a black man hitting another black man. He gets canceled for it. Right? Same thing. So that's my thing. My biggest thing, y'all, is it's all about accountability, and we gonna have a hard time moving forward as a people until you allow yourself to be held accountable, because nobody can do. We're all grown. You know what I'm saying? And just like we can't make you do anything. You have to allow yourself to be held accountable, and that's what I would preach, man. I'm gonna get off my thing, y'all.
No, I mean, that's valid points, man. And you're right about the Kevin Samuels thing. Is, yeah, he was judged a lot off of clips, right? Where you don't see the entire context. You don't see how it led up to that point. You don't see the calmness that he had prior to when talking to these individuals. And then it gets to that point, and the clips are, it's strategic. It's, it's to help bring people in, because, again, I think I gave the example before. Like, the villain is damn near more popular than the hero in a lot of cases, right? So the old saying is, no publicity is bad publicity, and that's a true case of this as well. I mean, the clip was put together a certain type of way. That may not have been what was said altogether, but it was put together for a reason, right? And yeah, I mean, I think both of you guys made some valid points. Like, first and foremost, men in general, especially black men, like you said, are expected to move perfect, right? It feels like you have to be perfect. And you know how hard that is, because none of us are God Jr. None of us are Jesus Christ. Oh,
Exactly.
none of us can and feel that those shoes of being a perfect human, right? As much as I strive to be, right? I strive to be perfect every day, right? That's my goal, is to be excellent, excellent father, an excellent husband, an excellent team member, an excellent leader, an excellent brother, excellent son. I strive for all of that. But at the end of the day, I know that I am not perfect. And I know that sin is a thing. So my sins can't I can't allow my sins to outweigh all the good that I do, right? And to say that, even to put that in the same clip, right? Even if it wasn't in the same sentence, I don't know. I haven't watched the full pod or what I think it's a podcast. I haven't watched the full podcast or interview or whatever it is. So I don't know how it was, overall presented
Right.
in the
Because
in the full
context.
context of it. However, again, that clip was made for a reason. So in that clip, and I didn't read the comments, I should have, but I didn't read the comments. But in that clip, it definitely is doing that for a reason. And one of the things that she said is that you're, would you say, decent, or you're an okay human, right? When you're as selfless as Dr. King was, like, again, you're a civil rights leader, and will forever be cemented in history as dying for a cause that was bigger than your own. So that's the most selfless act you can actually do, is actually, sacrificing your life for the greater good of humanity, right? Like you said, not just black, not just white, not just Hispanic, not just any other ethnicity. I did it for equality for all. That word again, right? Equality. We say it a lot in this pod and talk about it. We know things will never be equal. However, hell, if we didn't have him, imagine how life would still be, right? So that man is, yeah. I mean, he's a staple on
But shit,
Mount
yeah, bro.
Rushmore's.
Because not even
You
that.
know
You
what I mean?
talk about civility. Because he walked for that.
Yeah,
Um,
man. Yeah. So what I mean, like, I agree. Women in a lot of cases, and this is not a women bashing vent session, but we gonna speak the truth on this pod, right? We gonna talk to individuals, and if people want to pull up and talk about their opinion, we might have that opportunity as well. But for now,
please pull up.
we
And that is not
yeah, we,
nothing to be funny or trying to be haha, but please pull up if you feel
for,
different. Because I want to have that healthy dialogue. We want to have that healthy dialogue.
Yeah,
So
and I
yeah,
would say,
so
as far as healthy dialogue, when you come on to the show, let's not try to move the goalpost either. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean
yeah,
is, like, one thing I don't want to get into is, well, what about when men do this, that, and the third? Like,
mm,
to me, that is a
and
deflection of the issue, and we can talk about that, because I think I've talked about holding men accountable, like having
mhm.
kids and whatnot. So I'm all about accountability on all sides, but let's not move the goalposts when we speak on whatever it is we
For
speaking
sure.
on.
So yeah, and one of the things that my wife and I had a discussion prior to, we had a pretty healthy discussion about it, and she agreed, right, that a person can't be great, and in this instance that we're talking about infidelity, like, you can't cheat on your spouse or your it don't even have to be a spouse, I guess, your your partner,
significant
whatever,
other.
right? Your significant other. So if you're
Yeah,
out, things I said, and she honed in on this word. One of the things I said was, if an individual makes a mistake or fall or whatever, right, I can't judge that one individual by their one mistake. And then she replied, well, what if it's multiple and it's not a mistake? And I said, well, if it's multiples, yeah, then it's probably not a mistake. But if it happens one time, in my opinion, it was a mistake. You fell victim to whatever moment. And again, I don't think cheating is above anyone, right? I think anybody can fall victim to it. And she is always intentional, because you have a choice to do it or not. Which, valid point, right? You do have a
facts.
choice. You do have a choice. And I guess under those guidelines, it could be considered intentional. However, it's still a fall. It's still a mistake, right? Like you said, T, Like, what is your definition of great? Are you putting people on the pedestal to make them seem like they're perfect? Because again, none of us are perfect. And also,
But we do that, bro.
like on that same tip though, why is it that men are always attacked for supporting cheaters when, bro, women cheat probably more than men? Like, let's be real about it. Like, there's a healthy amount of women that do what they do and just don't get caught, right? Like, just men, they don't talk about it, but it's happening. I know it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it happen, right? So like I had to,
A lot of
remind
entanglements
individuals
out
like
there.
let's not get it twisted. Jada Smith, right? Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, you just brought him up. August Alsina, entanglements, like that was not out of the ordinary. It's just not talked about, right? It's always men are the cheaters and you can't find a good man, you can't find this, you can't find that. However, if you go by the numbers, because there are more women than men in this world, if you go by the numbers, I'm sure you'll
Mm-hmm.
find that women either cheat just as much or more than men. And then go back even more to if you're a spiritual person, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back biblical on you. We wouldn't even have that intention to
Preach.
cheat. We wouldn't even have that intention to cheat if
That
we
damn
didn't eat
apple.
that apple, bro. And who led us to the apple? We were good, bro. I didn't see nakedness. I didn't have that lust. Good. And then
Mm-hmm.
you whispered in my ear to go eat this apple from a snake. You know snakes don't talk. So while we even listening to this dude,
Yo.
we eat the apple, and bro, we eat the apple, and
Come on,
now
take us home,
I
bro.
see
Take
you
us home.
naked. You're starting to cover myself up because now I feel ashamed because I'm naked. Now I see you for who you are. I see you for what you have, and now I'm lusting after what you have. At the end of the day, I think men get put on this pedestal because we always hear men are dogs. Men only want one thing. Men only out to do this. Men are trash. Like it's always so much male bashing that, like DC said, females don't get held accountable for the actions that they do, right? That's the dialogue we have to continue and change. Like people need to be held accountable. If we're going to be held accountable, you should be held accountable too. That's my rant. My
Facts.
bad.
Absolutely.
Ooh, you was getting
Absolutely.
in with that apple, boy. Hey,
Now, only
man.
thing I'll say to Rod's point is now this may all be subjective and who knows, but most studies show that men cheat more than women. However,
Mhm.
the
To say it ain't happening at all on the other side is false.
well, but not only that, and the numbers are pretty close. So generally
Mhm.
speaking, and this is what only people admit to. We don't know what people don't admit to, but
Mhm.
going off of what people admit to, men cheat 20% of the time, and women cheat
Mhm.
about 13% of the time. Now, granted, nobody should cheat, but the difference between 20 and 13 ain't that much, y'all.
Mhm.
So, yes, statistically, men are more likely to cheat. And to me, it makes sense because men generally are more superficial. We are more visual
Physical.
than women are.
Yeah.
You know what
Mm-hmm,
I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
We're like
mm-hmm.
just like Rod said, he saw Eve naked. He's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So like
All day.
we are more visual creatures, so it makes sense. And we're also natural hunters. Like men go out and hunt,
Mhm.
we start wars, we kill. And part
Mhm.
of getting the woman is that's the hunt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not killing nothing, but it's a hunt to get a lady. So it makes sense to me. But my thing is, yes, I would say the cheating thing is a mistake. I understand where your wife was going and saying, well, it's not a mistake, it's intentional. Yes, they're all choices. They're all intentional, 100%.
Mhm.
But to judge a man and basically be ready to throw a whole man away,
Mhm.
regardless of what other positive attributes he has, is ridiculous, considering that men cheat 7% more than women do.
So
And
let's go ahead, bro.
Admit
Go ahead.
they admit they cheat 7%.
admit they cheated.
Women they'll die with a lie, bro. Like I've
Yeah.
heard people literally say, "Hey, I take it to my grave." Like
Yeah.
they know they did it, they know it was wrong, and they still would be like, "Yo, I wasn't there, but I see you in my own eyes. You
Hit him
don't
with
see
the
me.
shaggy.
I'm not
With
here.
me.
It wasn't me. Like, what
With
you gonna
Yeah.
me.
believe? What you gonna believe? Your eyes or me? You
That's
know what I
true. And
mean?
I will
That's
say,
that's
ladies
how
will take
women
some
would
to
be.
yeah. And I will say, ladies will take stuff to the grave that
Yeah,
nobody even knows about.
yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what I mean is by nobody knows about it, it's like, even if it came out, nobody would care, but you still take
Mm-hmm.
it to the grave. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
like in this case, again, I don't know if these studies are anonymous, but I would think that whoever conducted these studies allowed the participants to be anonymous so they don't blow up
Mm-hmm.
their own spot.
For
So
sure.
I would hope that the ladies will be truthful, but I love my women, but y'all know y'all will lie on an anonymous survey. Let me not say that. Y'all ain't gonna lie, but you might withhold information, possibly, maybe. Who
Boom.
knows?
There it
Withhold
is.
information.
Yeah.
I love that, bro. But I think what it comes down to, even that B Simone comment, man, the simple fact that as human beings, we look at the negative stuff first.
Yeah.
We will always bring up, hey, you remember when he did that? Y'all,
Mm-hmm.
that one part that he let's for anything. That's
Mm-hmm.
what happens, bro. For anything.
Yeah, I
This is
mean that.
what we are, man. And we look at the negative thing.
That's the human, and I think it's because, again, I'm not a psychologist, but I think it's because as people we are so broken that we want to see someone, like, if you're doing too good, if you're too much of a goody two shoes, it's like, something got to be wrong with you. I got to find something, right? I got to
Yeah.
find something to bring you down, either my level or beneath my level, right? And I think people like hang on to that to make themselves feel better. That's the insecure way of looking at it. Like, again, I look at things as, bro, you slipped up. I can't hold you to something. Now, if you're doing it repetitively, that's different, right? Then you have to look in the mirror and say, yo, am I doing the right things? And you deserve the criticism that you get. But if it's one setback, or even if it's not the same setbacks, if you keep having different types of setbacks and learning from your mistakes, then, bro, that's called living. That's called growing. And that's what we should be doing, is falling forward. But if you're continuously going on the same cycle and doing the same things, then obviously, I mean, you get what you get.
For
Yeah.
sure. So do you, and I don't, this is not a question for y'all too, but y'all can answer it though. But anybody who listening, so now that we know what we know, the MLK Jr. lead us down the wrong path. Because I would
No,
say no.
no.
So when you make a statement that you just, you're okay, guy, decent guy, because um, man, he done some things that I know I would have been terrified, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Okay.
Like
selfish, bro.
terrified, bro.
It's just selfish,
So
bro. I mean, that the comments, to what you're saying, that is just, it's selfish to say that, yes, despite all of the things, to list all of his accomplishments, because that's kind of sort of what they did, and to essentially negate all of that because he cheated on his wife. That's just selfish. I
yeah,
mean,
I don't think they negated it, but they just said, "Oh yeah, you did these things, but you're not. You're not a great father. You're not
he's not a great
a
father, not a great
great
leader.
husband."
Which, doesn't
So
that negate everything that he's done? I mean, how can you march in Selma and not be a great leader? How
Mm-hmm.
can you organize the bus boycott and not be a great
Mm-hmm.
leader? How can you sit down with Lyndon B. Johnson and not be a great leader?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does that even happen? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I understand what you're saying, T, but I would
mhm,
say that
it
they
goes hand in
didn't
hand.
they did negate. Yeah, but like, to
Mm-hmm.
say that you're an okay human being, Martin Luther King of all people, like, to me that does negate. That's what it sounded like to me. It
For
sounded
sure.
like,
Mm-hmm.
And I think, man, I'm not putting words in their mouth, but I think, like I said, that's that pedestal, bro. It's that
Mm-hmm.
pedestal, bro. Let something come out about LeBron James, bro. I guarantee you, bro.
Oh,
So
they
many people,
waiting, bro.
man, I ain't rocking with him, dog. I
they,
ain't doing that. I told
mhm.
y'all this and this and this.
they
But yeah,
waiting.
he
I mean,
he
they
made his
waiting on
mistake.
it. They've been searching for a long time. They waiting on it. So
I'm just, you
If it
just
does
think
leak,
about that, bro.
yeah, nah, I know it. I know it for sure because
You
we,
know, we pick and choose in society what we want to nitpick on. It's like a, I guess like a tooth, right? A toothache, right? It's that one general area, right? You can keep picking at that thing, and it's gonna be painful until you go see that dentist, right? So you keep picking
Mhm.
at that thing. But you look at what's Michael Jordan, bro. Guy ain't played I don't know how many years, bro. Many shoes still come out to this day. Man, we know what he did with
Mhm.
Juanita, but we forget it.
Yeah.
We choose to forget it. You see what I'm saying? Chose forget it. We moved on, right?
Mhm.
We pick and choose who we want to let off the hook in a sense, but we also pick and choose where it's like, oh, man, you know what? It happened, right? So if you could say it happened to the best of that guy who did not
Bro.
march, who got those rights to get these $1 million contracts, who was allotted these opportunities, bro. Come on,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, man, it's we gotta wake up, man, and figure out who we put on these pedestals.
I mean,
And we got to give
nobody should
people
be,
grace. And we got to give people grace.
nobody should ever
Exactly.
be put on a pedestal.
Because we
No
got to
one.
learn to give people grace from top down. Because
Hmm.
if we can say, man, this person ain't great, this person ain't decent, bro. Man, I hope, because we ain't getting dressed in the dark, but we looking at that mirror every morning when we wake up. So
Yeah.
what we own? What we own?
I'll
Let me
say
know.
that. I'll say this, bro. I specifically black people, we have to love us. We have
All
to, bro.
day.
Because and the thing is, right now, it's not happening, bro. Donald Trump became president, and he was on tape saying, "Grab women by the pussy."
Hmm.
Now, if Obama had said that, y'all know good and well there is no way that man becomes president.
Nah.
And not only does he not become president, he loses black voters. We know this. He is going to lose. Barack Obama would lose the black vote if a tape came out of him saying, "Grab her by the pussy." He would have never even made the ballot if if he basically had a mail order bride like Ivanka. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? He would even made it to the ballot, bro. Like that, like Obama. Just consider that Barack Obama had to be a wholesome human being, and even then, his birth certificate came into question.
Hmm.
And so what I'm trying to say is, man, like this is what I mean by black people have to be perfect, and black men have to be perfect within our own community. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Tyler Perry is another person. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Perry does great things. He got his own studio and this, that, and the third. And
Shout out.
yeah, and he still gets flamed by his
Hmm.
own people. His own
Hmm.
people. Mind you, you have other directors, other people that make pretty much the same movie over and over again, white guys, and they get lauded for it by their own people. Because I mean, when I talk about Tyler Perry, a lot of black folks like Tyler Perry. I do, but he also gets flamed by a lot of
Hmm.
black people on public forums all the time, and it's accepted. But white folks don't do that to each other. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And what I mean by that, yes, they do to an extent, but they are not defined by it, whereas we are. And
Mm,
so
there
that's
it
to
is.
me that's the thing, man. We have to stand. We have to stand by each other because nobody else will. And this whole thing about, oh, he cheated. Let me tell you something. All these white men cheat on their wives, all of them, and yet they stand by him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about powerful men, right? We're not just talking about regular guys at this point, right? We're talking about
Some of our
like,
people listening, like, bro, what you talk about,
yeah,
dog? I'm
when we
just
talking like,
driving to work trying to listen.
yeah, we talking about the upper crust because I would consider MLK to be the upper crust. You know
Hmm.
what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like he's somebody like
So we talking like, MLK, we talking Bill Clinton.
exactly. We're
Hmm.
talking about Ronald Reagan. We're talking about
Jeff
um
Bezos, who just, oh, by the way, we ain't
right
talking about that.
Zuckerberg.
She ain't slandering, bro. She got $38 billion from this divorce too. She's
Yeah,
straight.
yeah, she's straight. Yeah, but the thing about it is like still I could be this could me be overreaching, but I do feel that if Jeff Bezos were black, if Jeff Bezos was black,
Stand on your tippy toes, bro.
bruh, then I do feel as if his ex-wife would have come out and done some sort of special about how she got cheated on over and over and over again, and how she was traumatized, and how he did this, that, and the third to her. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how we do each other, bro. Like, bro, like
When's
even
enough enough?
yeah. Think about what's the case that's going on now in court with the Pirates of the Caribbean dude.
Johnny Depp. Shout out
Yeah,
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, and now we know his wife was kind of abusive. But bro, you know how rare that is? Like
Mm-hmm.
for like their dirty laundry to be aired out that way. Like that
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't happen. That's why it's such a sensational story,
Mm-hmm.
because that type of stuff doesn't happen with that culture. Not with that culture. Now it happens all the time with our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like I would use, and I don't even want to say his name because that'd be too triggering, because that's a little bit extreme. But you see
Pull the trigger,
other,
bro.
huh?
Pull the
Well,
trigger, bro.
the reason I say it, so I'll say I will say this is somewhat of an unfair comparison, because he did a bunch of other stuff. But specifically, if we can compartmentalize, I want to say this before I say his name. If we can just compartmentalize his actions with his wife specifically,
Okay.
then this will make sense when I make the Johnny Depp comparison. But how
All right.
R. Kelly was with his ex-wife,
Mm,
because R. Kelly was abusive to his ex-wife
correct.
the same way that Johnny Depp was supposedly abusive to his wife, but it turned out it was the other way around,
Mhm.
right? And she got pretty much a TV show for it. You know what I'm saying? For getting abused and being the victim and this, that, and the third. But and she was a victim, ladies. Let me just say that. She was a victim. I'm glad she got up out of there. R. Kelly is a POS. He is where he needs to be. Let me just say that. But the bigger point is, when black men do dirt to black women, it is national news, and they are beat on by everybody, including the black women, for being less than perfect. Whereas when you have a white man who's out here that's less than perfect, it doesn't even make the news.
If so, they're like, man, he wilding. Then we move on.
And we move on. And that's it. There is no cancel. There is no stop buying his shoes. There is no, none of that. They're not expected to be perfect. We got to get past that as a people.
You know what I just thought about? Brett Favre. And to the Brett Favre story, right? We know Green Bay Packer Hall of Fame quarterback, Duke and ball. So we ain't gonna talk about that because it's not the important part. But my man was sending those picks, the eggplant picks, to random people.
Yep.
Got caught, and that was it. My man still played another 4-5 years. Wife was still there. Everything was cool. I don't think no one brought it up, bro. Like after the incident, it was like, oh yeah, he was playing for the New York Jets. That brief stint with the New York Jets. And saw a few reporters was like, oh, send these pics. And it is what it is, right? My man played, where you go? Minnesota after that? And shit, damn near went to the Super Bowl. But other than that, I mean, we ain't even talk about it no more. It happened. It is what it is. Training camp opened back up. Life went on. And so, like, I get it, because let that have been Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Whole nother scenario.
Whole nother scenario.
And we're not making this thing as and I feel like I speak for y'all. We're not making this thing to be like a political or racial thing. We are saying that we as a community needs to start looking and say, okay, nobody here perfect. So what we gonna do to help lift each other up instead of continuing to tear each other down? Because it's easy to kick somebody when they down. Super easy. But it seems like we're making it so hard to put a hand out to pull somebody up. Now we understand like that compartmentalized part of R. Kelly. Got it. We ain't saying like let's condone all every single thing. You know what I'm saying? But what we saying is if somebody has one slip up or a few, what are we doing to help that person get out of that situation than using a platform to talk about how terrible that person is, and they ain't amounting to nothing. They won't be nothing. They can't be nothing. So what we doing? Like, what are we on when we're doing those things all the time, knowing damn well when we go to bed we ain't even perfect? I think that's what I don't think that's the message we trying to tell y'all, man. We can't tear each other down, man. Men, black women. We gotta figure this out. We gotta protect one another. We talked about this a few episodes ago. It was a case in point, man, where our black men becoming an endangered species in a sense, right? Where we can't bear our emotions, or because we can't afford to slip up. Both of y'all literally just said we can't afford to slip up. Not once.
Bro, if Martin Luther King can't slip up, my regular ass
Who
can't slip up.
Shit.
Like, bro.
That's facts.
So I mean, what we doing? And it's not directed to y'all, man. I hope people listening, like, what we doing, man? Because I do want to have some more healthy conversations about this, especially from the female perspective as well. But it does come off to that point where you say, "Hey, she set women back," right? I'm pretty sure there's some women, our wives, probably like, "Nah, she ain't set me back," because this is what I think about it. But we know what our power, this microphone, whatever platform we on, we know what we can do with this thing. We get there's narratives that get created real quick, and outside looking in like, "Yep, told you so." And so yeah, I get that point on what you guys are saying, man, because we got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we're building it up. Yeah, I can could get on you. Hey, bro, DC, you know better, bro. So what we working on to get better? See that no one's following up with that line.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That, and I think that we are becoming a culture where black men are expected to cater to black women, but black women are not expected to cater to black men. You know what I'm saying? Like that is truly where we are as a society as a whole. Now, when I say society as a whole, I don't mean everybody. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's exceptions to everything. But as a whole, consider this, right? So we've established that men as a whole are more visual than women. Could we say that's a universal truth, fellas?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Now, with that being said, do you know that at this point in time, black women are actually way more than black men at the same height? You know what I'm saying? So what I mean is, if you're 5'8" and 160 pounds, if you met another 5'8" woman, black woman, she likely weighs more than 160 pounds. If I'm 6', I'm 6'2", and I'm like 215 right now. If I came across a 6'2" black woman, there's a good chance, statistically speaking, that she weighs more than 215 pounds. I say that to say this. Generally speaking, men do not want a mate who weighs more than them. Maybe some do. I know there's some like the big girls, I know that. But generally speaking, men want women who are smaller than them. You know what I'm saying? But yet in the black community, it don't work that way. Now, I say that to say this, and this is where I'm bringing it home. The sentiment across, when I speak to a number of black women, it's kind of take me as I am. You know what I mean? Flaws and all. Yeah, I have this and the third. Yeah, this is what comes with it, Negro. You
Gotta
can
go
take it or
both
leave it.
ways.
Right.
I
But
saw
but
that.
yet,
I saw that Beyonce quote you just dropped there. By the way, that flaws and all.
yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
saw.
yeah. Queen
I
B.
saw what you did there.
Yeah, Queen B. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, it's like, oh, accept me for who I am, flaws and all. But yet, clearly, men are not being accepted, flaws and all. Because you can cheat on a woman, which is bad. Nobody's
Mm-hmm.
condoning it. But you can make a mistake, or you can do a woman wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else is thrown out the window.
For sure.
But yet, it's flaws and all. And oh, by the way, we've established that men are visual, superficial creatures by nature. So if I should be doing everything that I can to keep my woman happy, which I feel I do, then shouldn't she do the same for me? Shouldn't she hit that treadmill for me? Shouldn't she hit that elliptical? Should she do this, that, and the third? But the stats say that's not happening. Black people have the highest obesity rate amongst all races in America, specifically, black men and women, but it is statistically speaking higher in black women. And it's not all because they thick with big butts. It's not that. Look, I love me some thickness, y'all. We've all, I think, established this in another episode. You know what I'm saying? We all like a little junk. You know what I'm talking about? But there's a difference between junk and obesity. Like, we're not talking about, oh, she's a little thick. We're not talking about that. We are talking about obesity. And I bring this up because this is a statistical, objective fact. This isn't like, oh, it's beauty in the eye of the holder. No, statistically speaking, we are unhealthy people. That's a fact. So, like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? That's the question. Like, it's got to go both ways. At the end of the day, it's got to go both ways. And I'm just trying to give an illustration of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a whole nother episode right there, bro. We can touch on that.
I mean, we hit on a little
for
bit.
a minute.
We talked about the enhancements, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that dread piece this summer though. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, you
and
do
you'll
that,
get
bro.
flamed for it. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, don't tear me down, bro. Don't tear me down, bro.
That's what men do. We tear each other down. We go to war, bro. That's it. Women don't go to war, and I'll give women credit. Women do not go to war. Men will kill us by the millions, and women ain't doing that.
Come on, man.
Hey, real quick,
I'm coming with the dread top.
Real quick though, on another note, maybe this is a lighter note, maybe it's not, but have you ever heard of emotionally cheating?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes,
bro. Sure. And I'm not gonna go too deep into it because the last time I put a post on Facebook, this is why I don't post on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I don't do that stuff no more. But the last time I put a post, when I first found out about emotional cheating versus, I guess, normal cheating, I don't know. Like, to me, I still don't think emotional cheating is a thing, but I'm not gonna get into the reasons why at this moment. But I put a post up. This was probably like 10 years ago. Like, it was a show me and my wife were watching, and the chick was like, I'd rather be physically cheated on than emotionally cheated. And I'm like, what the hell is emotional cheating? And my wife explained it to me. I'm like, that is not a thing. She was like, it is. I'm like, that is not a thing. So I put it on Facebook, like, hey, have you ever heard of this? Like, would you rather be emotionally cheated on or physically cheated on? And I got a long list of women just chiming in.
Like, neither. Who the hell are you?
No, I mean, emotional cheating is so much worse. And I'm like, bro, this is not a thing. How is this a thing? You know what I mean? And I say that to say, like, I think women can lead with their emotions. So if they emotionally invest into another individual, to them, like, if I do that to another woman, that's damn near worse than sticking my eggplant in the you know what I mean, in that thing, you know what I mean? You know where it go. y'all all have biology, you know what I mean? When I get the quick slide in, you know what I mean? The emotional cheating is worse than the slide in, bro. And I'm like, how was the emotional cheating worse than the slide in? But
perspective, though, bro.
I mean, there ain't no perspective on that, bro. Like,
perspective. You just said it, man. Because women do emotionally, they put everything in it, and if we as men are not doing that same thing, where we just saying, you could be just complimenting other people, man, and you're not complimenting your wife, bro. That's a form of emotional cheating, bro. And so, like,
I disagree.
I disagree with that part.
I disagree.
No, bro. You can't disagree with somebody's emotions and feelings, bro, because their emotions and feelings are valid, right? So if someone is saying this is how I feel when you do that, bro, you gotta acknowledge that. You have to.
Is that with anything? So is that with anything or just that thing?
I would say that thing, right? I mean, it's damn near anything, bro. If someone tells you how they feel about something, you can disagree with it, but you gotta acknowledge it.
So what is
You know what I'm saying?
emotional? Somebody break this down. What is emotional cheating? Because again, I still don't. My brain
In the words of
can't,
DC, bro, Google is your friend.
bro.
Nah,
Again, I've googled it and my brain is not processing that. Like I
so
don't believe in that.
the way I understand it would be almost like if you ever had like a work husband or a work wife kind of thing, that could be seen as emotional cheating. Or sometimes like if you just given a lot of your time and attention to somebody else, it could be considered emotional cheating. And I can understand where that comes from only because it's like if you're given, you only have so much energy to give. It's a finite resource that we have, even though it's intangible. And so if you're giving, let's give emotions a number, 100. You got 100, and you got so many credits you can give away. You only got 100 credits, right? Your wife wants all 100, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe she wants 80 of them and 20 can go elsewhere.
To the
Well, if
kids.
yeah,
Hobby.
to the kids and this, that, and the third, right? But if you give an 80% of your credits, emotional credits to another person, that means when you come home, you don't have anything to give to her. And generally speaking, women are going to pick up on that. And I would say men too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I think anybody would pick up on that. Now, I'm not going to say
Mm-hmm.
it's as bad as physically cheating because to me, like, ain't nothing like seeing another person naked. I'm sorry. Like, there's just, you can't convince me that me thinking about something. I mean, hell, that's like if you watch that's like saying watching a flick is cheating. Like, that's some BS. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, I mean, if you're watching the flick, fellas, you know, you're a
That's
man,
that. Hey,
you're
that's
you're in
emotion.
a certain,
That's
yeah,
emotionally cheating, bro. If
right.
to go off of the definition I'm reading, if I'm emotionally and what y'all just said, if I'm emotionally putting my time, if you emotionally going to work, you know what I mean, in your me time,
He said,
you know
"Go
what I mean, getting your me
Yeah.
time and watching the joint, you know what I mean, like. Are you emotionally cheating? Like again, my brain doesn't
You on fire
process that.
today, bro.
Yeah.
No,
So I
my
understand
brain
what you.
don't process that.
I
Like
feel you,
Yeah.
bro.
So I understand.
if
But
you're emotionally cheating, in my opinion, from a male perspective, then you're physically cheating because I'm not going to emotionally be tied to somebody that I'm not with the slide in, bro. Like the slide in has to be a part of it if it's because
Yeah.
where you said
And
you putting that implant, bro?
yeah.
yeah. Now I'm gonna say, Rod, I feel you. Now, only thing I would say to that is, you know, the difference between say the flick is, I mean, like I would think, I'll use myself as an example. I'm using a different flick. I'm not just watching the same thing over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's just some different chick right then and there. You know what I'm saying? And it's
I
like
guess that's
it's
lust, ain't it?
it's almost like a transactional thing. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't consider that emotional cheating. But emotional cheating, I think, is more like if it's a real person. Like I'm never gonna see these chicks that's on my cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know
Mhm,
who they are. They don't know me. We'll never know each other.
mhm.
But when you're talking about, let's say, a coworker, because I think a lot of times that's where the whole emotional cheat is somebody you spend a lot of time with, which is generally going to be a coworker. I think that is a little bit different because that is more real. Like even though yes, it may be emotional and nothing happened, certainly there's a higher chance that something could evolve into that could really affect your household. You know what I'm saying? I
Yep,
would
yep,
think
yep.
that somebody watching the flick, I mean, unless you're just doing it every day, I guess, but I don't think that watching the flick here and there is going to have a really negative impact on your household versus if you're making googly eyes at old girl from the cubicle down, down a few cubicles down or whatever. Like, I do think that is going to be a little bit different. And I think it goes both ways. Now, I don't think it's so serious that like somebody should draw up divorce papers over it. And I'm speaking about marriage. I don't see. I got to a point. I don't really talk boyfriend and girlfriend. That's not real to me anymore. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So like, I'm talking about like if you're married, if you file papers on me because you think I'm emotionally cheating, then I'm going to think that you're really cheating on me because I think that's some BS.
Mhm.
But I do think it's worth the conversation. Like
For
if I
sure.
feel like my wife is kind of pulling away from me, like she might not be giving it to nobody else, but I can tell she's just pulled away from me physically and emotionally. I can tell, you know what I'm saying? And I would have a problem with that. So, again, I'm not getting a lawyer involved, but we
You gotta
gonna
have conversations. You gotta
you gotta have a
work
conversation.
through
Gotta have
them
a
because
conversation.
it
Yeah.
ain't easy. Marriage ain't easy. Gotta put work in.
Right. Yeah, you
know
got to
what I'm
put
saying?
work in. I say it's like working out, bro. Like exercising ain't easy.
Big
Shoot, bench
facts.
pressing ain't easy. But if you want abs and you want, you know what I'm saying, the big chest, then bro, no pain, no gain. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's how a relationship has got to be. It's a
Yeah.
sense of duty, and it's not always, you know, I'm happy every single day. That's not what a successful relationship is. That's just not life. It's peaks and valleys.
All
And,
day ebbs
and
and flows, baby.
yeah, ebbs and flows. If you think about it, if every day was a peak, you wouldn't even know what a peak was. You would just be plateauing. You'd be bored. You got to have peaks and valleys so that you know when you're at the highest of the highs, you know what it is because you've been at the lowest of the lows.
And then you get people to help bring you up. Whether
Yeah,
that's your significant other, your partners, let you know what's going on, bro.
yeah. And I'm talking about
For
specifically in a relationship going up and
relationships
down.
too, bro. Like I
Yeah,
said, bro, it's about the circle you keep. It's about people. Man, I'm bringing this full circle. About the company you keep, the people that's gonna help you come up, not judge you for your one misstep, and you build from that, man. Instead of just DC, you slipped up, bro. Too many flicks, You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
hey, bro, what's good, bro? You want to talk about it, bro? Let's outlet it, bro. Let's figure something out. Let's help you get through it. You know what I mean? So, you know, you know where the eggplant goes in the wet soil, all that stuff.
The wet soil.
The double R.
hmm
Chaz, he been on fire today, bro. But it's those things, man. We help each other out, man. We understand. Yeah, man. You're not at your best right now. I'm not gonna kick you down because you ain't at your best right now, man. What can we do to see you stand up?
Yeah,
For sure.
You
for
know what I'm
sure.
saying? You know, Rod, you been on fire, bro. I really want to know, man. How you what quote you got for the people, man? What quote you got for us? Cause you been on fire. From we went all the way to the beginning of the time.
Hey, man.
We trying to figure out where the eggplant goes and the slide is. We
Hey.
we here, bro.
That's it. So I mean, I think this is probably good for this topic. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path.
Mm,
Bars.
yeah,
Jeez.
that's it.
God dog.
Mm.
God dog. Man, hey, I got a question though. On a
hmm
lighter note. Hey man, what kind of apple you think was in Eaton, bro? You think it was a Fuji?
Honey
Honey
Crisp, bro.
Crisp?
That was
Honey
Honey
Crisp.
Crisp all
That
day.
Honey Crisp, bro, for sure.
The one the Gala apple though?
No.
The pink lady joint. You know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? You
That
know
man said,
what?
"What kind
Which
of
one?
apple?"
Which one? Eve was like, oh, that's the. What if it was a green apple?
Nah, definitely wasn't a green
Nah,
apple.
it
Ain't no
wasn't a
Why
way.
green
not?
apple. No way.
Why
Had to
can't
be
it
the red
green?
apple. Don't nobody want
Yeah.
no sour apple, bro.
Not at all.
Like
Hey,
Unless,
bro.
unless it's
ain't
an
nobody
apple
gonna
pie.
risk it all for a sour apple, my
Hey,
guy.
bro. The snake said, try
Nah, even Eve wasn't falling for that. She like the green apple. Come on, bro. The green apple.
it.
You know, she
All
would
right.
have gave him the side eye and the neck roll, bro. Because the first people were black, so definitely side eye with the neck roll. It definitely. I'm thinking Honey Crisp, or it could have been the Red Delicious apple. I'm kind of partial to
What
that.
about Granny?
Mhm. It
I
wasn't
don't
no
think I know what
granny.
that is.
No, it
The
wasn't no
Granny
granny.
Smith apple?
That's a green joint again, man. Nah, we ain't
Oh
messing with
no,
them.
yeah, it's definitely not a green apple, bro.
No.
All right. So survey says Honey Chris.
Honey Crisp.
I'm thinking Honey Crisp for sure.
Yo, I'm about to ask some pastors, bro. What kind of apple is it?
Yeah, yo, and they gonna kick you out, bro. Like what?
They won't, bro, because they know me, bro. Hey,
They gonna
man,
say, "Son, I think you're missing the
I,
point of the story."
bro, I'm a part of God, bro, and God has a sense of humor, bro. So
hmm For sure.
I gotta know, bro, which apple was it to eat, bro? Because everybody gotta. It's not written down nowhere, or is it?
The world.
No, it's
Mm,
just apple. I don't think in the Bible
see,
they just say
there it
apple. They don't
is,
really get
bro.
into the
So
kind of
which
apple.
one was it?
hmm I mean, we just established what it was. So
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
feel you, dog. Honey Crisp be slapping, bro.
yeah, that's
I'm down with the Honey Crisp, man. So Honey Crisp, Garnet Eden, bro. Maybe it's more. Maybe it's more out there, bro. We'll see. I don't want to see too
yeah.
soon, but we'll see.
We'll see, man.
But hey, man, with that being said, man, Honeycrisp apples, Garden of Eden, man. Eve ate a Honeycrisp apple, man. I wonder how
Cue the
people.
music.
Cue the music, dog.